one of the biggest problems with the manual process or even using something like GitHub based tools is that when you go to deploy to another environment, like we're in QA and we're moving to production, when you deploy using the tools that are out there, you get one error at a time. And so it stops. And then you got to go back and fix that error. You got to go through a manual process to get it over there again. You got to try to deploy it again. It gets one more error. I've wasted nights and weekends on that. It's a crazy, difficult, complex process. You have no idea what's wrong, and you could have 50 errors, and that would just take you all weekend to figure out what the heck is going on with that. So we have a tool called pre-deploy fix that actually mimics a deployment, and it finds every error and says, here's the errors you're going to have. Let's fix them now before you even try to deploy. So deployments are a pain and they suck. The other thing is when I deployed stuff, I'd have people come screaming to my desk and say, you just deployed stuff, but you broke my code. Why? Because people can make changes directly in Salesforce production. They don't have to go through a process. And so they can be out there just coding away and making all these changes. When I deploy, I have no idea what's going on out there. I have no idea they made the change. And so when I deploy, I completely wipe out their changes. And so those have to be recreated from scratch because they're not saved anywhere. So they come screaming out at us, Keith, I know you just did deployment. I'm like, I have no idea it was there before. And it was actually just wiped out. We have no idea what it was. We have to start over from scratch. So we have a tool called Overwrite Protection, and it does exactly what you think it does. It finds anything that's out there that's not that's going to conflict with your changes, and it gives you a chance to fix that and bring that stuff back in before you deploy it and break it. And then the other thing is rollback. Absolutely nobody has a rollback. I used to have to stand in front of very technical architects, the lead architects, enterprise architects at Mutual of Omaha, and say, and have a maintenance weekend plan. And during that maintenance weekend plan, they're like, what's your rollback plan? I said, well, let me explain something about Salesforce. There is no rollback plan. What we do is we call failing forward with Salesforce. We push stuff out there. If it doesn't work, we have to go to the lower environment, so your integration environment and your QA environment, build something that undoes what we did and deploy that and deal with all those errors and go through all that hell again to undo what we did in production, because we can't just delete it. We can't just go back to what it was before. So we actually have a one-click rollback in Flosum, and it allows you to, we know what the state of it was before. We know what the state was after. We can, in 3 minutes, have you roll back to where you were instead of doing that fail forward thing. So we actually do provide a rollback plan that enterprises require.